Hi guys, it's TechBoy here with another video. This video is me answering the questions that you left in the original Q&A with TechBoy video less than a month ago, and I'm naming this December 2013 because that is when I'm answering the questions. So I did say in previous videos that I was going to leave it towards the end of the summer until more questions are asked, but at the rate it's going, I don't think any more people are going to ask any more questions in that video, so I thought I might as well do a response now, and then if it gains more traction, then I'll answer more of those questions in the future. And if anybody asks a question on the original video, I'll just comment my response below it. So let's get started. The first question I had was from @Teen Film Club. Sorry if I said it wrong. What do you think the iPod 6 will be like? So when you say iPod 6, I then read your question and interpreted as though you said, what do you think the iPod Touch 6th generation will be like? Because there's already, I'm not sure if you're talking about an iPod Shuffle Nano, they're up to like the 7th or 8th generation of the iPod Nano. So you've got to be talking about the iPod Touch. So what do I think will be the 6th generation iPod Touch? I have outlined this in my Apple predictions for 2014 video, even though you posted that question before I uploaded the video, I understand. So if you want to see a full response on how I think they're going to tackle the iPods in the future, please go ahead and watch that video. But I'm more than happy to share my thoughts once again in this video. It will get a display at the same size as the iPhone 6 display to make it more worthwhile to manufacture in bulk, in the sense of if they make a 4.5, 4.7 inch, 5 inch, 5.5 inch screen for the iPhone 6, they might as well put it on the iPod Touch as well to make it more worthwhile. The Apple A7 chip, because the A5 chip went into the iPod Touch 5th generation after just 1 year after the iPhone 4S got it, because they delayed it a year to have the iPhone having that advantage over the others. So they'll probably skip the A6 and go straight to A7, and probably for many other reasons as well. There's a 50% chance of it getting Touch ID, which could work with the A7 chip because that's what stores the fingerprints. Mainly because they will put it in the iPad and the iPod Touch in the same year, since the iPhone will have had that 1 year selling advantage, hence why it was in the iPhone 5S first, and they didn't add it to the iPad Air in 2013, and the iPods didn't get updated really that year. It may be slightly thinner, but I highly doubt it's going to have any more of an advantage to make the device thinner than it currently is today. I'd rather they keep the same thickness but make it larger to accommodate for the bigger screen and a better battery. Same with the iPhone. They will probably keep the 5th generation iPod Touch at 16 gigabytes in black and white only, and make the multicolored version for the 6th generation iPod Touch with all of the features that I just talked about in 32 and 64 gigabyte capacities, and maybe 128 if they want to kill off the iPod Classic. But if they were going to do that, they would have done it by now, so time will tell. As for a release date, I'm expecting it to be in September 2013 at the same time as the 2014 iPhone announcement. Probably very similar to what they did in 2012 when they announced the iPhone 5, and then they announced the whole range of iPod updates, and that's including the iPod Touch 5th generation with the bigger screen, which the iPhone got. Because if they announced the iPod before the iPhone got the bigger screen, everybody would have gone, yep, the iPhone would have definitely got it. So it would avoid rumours by announcing it that way round. So I'm expecting it to come out in September at the same time as the iPhone. So I hope that answered your question. Thanks for asking. And the next question I had was from Brandon Is All Powerful. He asks, what do you think Apple needs to do for the iPhone 6 to be revolutionary again? So I had a lot of thoughts through this while I was making this video, so I'll just step you through them one by one. The only way Apple can make an iPhone revolutionary again is by introducing the new tech or new component to the phone that does not exist in any other smartphone. You could say that phones like the iPhone 5S, when that got the fingerprint sensor, was a revolution in its day. Those phones like the Samsung Galaxy S4 had the hand tracking gestures, so if you've got a photo slide show up, you can wave your hand over the screen to slide through your photos, and same going for answering a phone call, for example. Revolutionary, looking up the definition via Siri. Yes, I had to use Siri to look up the definition. It said markedly new or introducing radical change. That was for revolutionary. And what we are getting at the moment is evolutionary, which is of or relating to or produced by evolution. In this sense, it's a gradual step forward in components that already exist in the device. Revolutionary has to be something completely different that nobody has done before. So here are some possible ways they could make the iPhone 6 revolutionary, but I still have my doubts that they're going to do any of these, but we can only hope. Have a battery that can last substantially longer than any other phone out there, at least 1 week of solid usage. Like if there's a breakthrough in battery technology of how long it can hold its charge, I'm sure everybody would go shut up and take my money, so they go out and buy that phone. If it has that feature, that is. Provide an even more unique way to recharge devices to compete against the phones that have wireless charging built into it. So maybe they could put a solar panel on the back of the iPhone 6S. I know you're asking about the iPhone 6, but for iPhone 6S, and then make the S stand for solar. So from the 3GS onwards, it would have stood for speed, Siri, security, and solar. It's just another thought. Provided a new form of input, just like the original iPhone had a touchscreen, which was revolutionary in its day because it was the first of its kind. Maybe something like controlling the cursor by a highlighted mark area on the home screen, so it's like a red box around the app icons, for example, on the screen should be achieved via the 500 dots per inch Touch ID sensor in the iPhone. And the reason why I'm saying 500 dots per inch is that that's incredibly detailed and very accurate for reading your thumbprint. So it should be able to detect movement of your thumb or finger on the sensor itself to move it around, which is what would provide a better reason to introduce a large screen iPhone. Because for me at the moment, it's good to have a large screen. I understand why people like it, but reaching the top corner of the screen when you hold it in one hand is a struggle. So if they introduce something like this, it could solve the issue of people can't reach the top corner of the screen. That's not a hassle. Just use the fingerprint sensor at the bottom. And you could also use it so if you swipe from the top down over the Touch ID sensor, it should open Notification Center, and from the bottom up for the Control Center. NFC, not just because all the other smartphones out there, including Android and Windows phones and all that, already have it. Not just putting that in the iPhone, but to have the NFC chip to work in collaboration with the Touch ID sensor for when it comes to mobile payments, so you don't need a credit card, to put it simple. Not everyone will want this feature, but it would be a good option for people to have it, at least. So we can see it happening now, that the future is not even having to carry your wallet around. There won't be such thing as cash and all that, as coins and notes and all that. It's going to be all based on with your phone and tapping it on, just doing a tap and go thing when you go to pay for your transactions, provided it's under a certain limit or something, and then add more security into that for other things in the future. So that's what I'm thinking they could do, to give you a few ideas of how they could make it revolutionary. But ultimately, to make the iPhone 6 revolutionary, they need to introduce something that we did not see coming. It's probably going to have to be software-wise, because with hardware leaks it's going to be very easy to spill out, and then all the fun is spoiled, like with the fingerprint sensor and all that. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you for asking it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. The question for you, the audience, is what other questions do you have for me to answer? It's as simple as that. So you can leave a question in the comment section below, or if you're watching this on my Google Plus page, which I somehow doubt not many people are, but you can leave a question below there. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and if you choose to, subscribe to my channel. And if you want me to expand to another social network like Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, I know Brandon is all powerful, YouTube name, also said for me to do Twitter for my channel. So if there are other people that want Twitter, then I'll consider it. But I'm not going to do it if there's only one person that wants to do it. So if you all say you want, yes, do Facebook, or yes, do Twitter, I'm more than happy to go into that. So that's it for now. Have a happy and safe Christmas, and if you celebrate. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later.